the everything athlete. If there's anyone who's an everything athlete, it's you. Rugby sevens, volleyball, 200, 400, 800, junior, national champion in the US. Played rugby in England. Grew up swimming second in the country in backstroke. Youth and judo second in the country in judo. Like that is an everything athlete. There's probably more there, other stuff. The modern paradigm says that you messed up. You should have chosen one of these
A lot
things.
of failures there, dude.
Gone to the top, got sponsored, got loaded, made your money, and then you can get fat straight after, like Usain Bolt. So then here you are at 39, and you still have to be jacked because you didn't choose to specify one thing, be specific, make your cash. You could have been fat by now.
Yeah. What have I missed out?
I missed out on the ultra. You've also run a bunch of ultras, some official ones, and then you've just gone out on your own and run for 20 hours, etc. What does it mean to you when you think about the everything athlete versus the dominant paradigm of focus, get to the World Cup, you know?
Yeah. I think it gives, honestly, every day I wake up, I feel like there's like unlimited potential for the day, which is really, really exciting. There could be a progress or no progress or just a lot of fun and many different things within a day that I just get really excited about. Like it keeps the psych levels high, you know? And then, it's just, and then the modern paradigm of like, you know, you get into a sport and you're initially pushed into like, well, you could be the best in the world. And I don't think many people ask the question as like, do I actually want to be the best in the world? Because that's like a high cost. What if I just had fun and someone paid me for it? That would be cool too. And what if I just had fun and no one paid me for it? That would be a win as well, with inevitably many lessons learned within that structure of just chasing what you feel like you should do and having a great time.
So it doesn't have to be about money, and it doesn't have to be about winning. The thing of you saying like, oh, it's not about being the best, like that kind of hit me the other day, because it's so deeply ingrained in me that when I start thinking about doing something, I'm always thinking about, well, how can we be the best in the world at this, and how can we get that recognition of... And there's a good side to it, like but you can be after excellence and beauty and redefining things without it being about ranking and like social status.
Yeah.
And I still wrestle with it of like, okay, you don't have to be the best, then what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've met some people that are second best in the world, and they're not happy either, dude. they're chasing the same one, you know.
There's plenty of best in the world that aren't happy too.
No, 100%.
Like, okay, I won the thing, and then like, oh.
Well, and the fact, and that is an important point, is the win and the best in the world and all this stuff will ultimately not lead you to the happiness. The happiness, as well as the struggle, like it is internal. And there are no things external that will bring you happiness. The internal will bring you happiness. If you want a wife, you have to be internally yourself and not complete, but you have to have a good internal scope, and then the wife will show up, and then you can start a family. It's not you went out and searched for something, and then you found the thing, and you go, oh, this will give me happiness, because it inevitably won't, and that's the winning and the rankings, and there's all that stuff as well. The internal pursuit of only being able to juggle one ball or only being able to run one lap, and then the next time being able to run 2 laps and juggle 2 balls, is the internal happiness that we gain from progress. I think progress and fun are like the 2 main drivers. Mm-hmm. When you say like, oh, I want to be the best in the world at this, that is great. That is a huge driver, but that will inevitably run out.
Yeah.
And 99.999% of the people that search for that will consider it a failure because they only got second best in the world. I was coming from a spot where every time I picked up a sport, someone said to me, you could be really good at this. You could be X, you could have this. Let me get behind you to do this. And I was faced my whole life with the fact of like, I have these pressures where people want me to be the best or want me to reach a certain level, but you can't do that in everything. So I was faced with the other side of that coin where I wasn't, those were possibilities, but they were endless possibilities to be great at these things. My dad always said, you can be great at whatever you want, you just have to choose one. And that always like struck me as like that. Obviously that's a great piece of advice, but then I would like go through this 2 to 4 year period of really committing myself to something, but then like realizing that I'm not going to be the best. I can be really good at it, but I'm not going to be the best. And I'm like kind of losing the love for that out of the pursuit of doing this. And it was internal, but there was also external. When someone gets behind you, you start pushing harder, and it's like, you know, you have all these factors that are pushing you to be the best, and then you're just like, well, I just want to play something else, like, and I want to be this other thing. I want to be this athlete, but there's not many people that veer in between so many activities.
Well, the best stuff can do as well. That's the funny thing. It's like Jordan just was like, I'm not playing basketball anymore. Just like he's the greatest, and then he's like, no, I want to play baseball. Yeah. And, you know, Sonny Bill Williams was at the top of rugby league, and he's like, I want to go play rugby union, and then I want to play rugby sevens, and I want to fight the guy who fought Mike Tyson. It's awesome. Like, what are you doing, man? Yeah. But like, it's instinctively there. I got to spend time with Joseph Suaalii, like one of the highest profile rugby players in Australia at the moment. Also played top level rugby league. But his passion is to be more like he was at 15, where he was competing in, you know, he competed in high jump. He has the state record in high jump, and now he's this massive rugby player. Yeah. He was good at basketball, and he's like, I'm not getting better anymore. I'm not getting to play anymore. Like, I think it's innate within us all to want to continue to expand. Like you're talking about fun and progress. I've been thinking about the 3 words like joy, expansion, and different. It's like, if there's no joy in it, if it's not expanding, and it's not different to stuff you've done before, it's going to be boring. And I look at most of this stuff now, like the big guide for my last few years has been watching Eden, watching my 2-year-old. You see him like he just got a balance bike, like life. He gets up, like, where's the
like
bike?
A whole different thing.
And then he's watching your boy go down the hill, and he's like, he doesn't realize that your boy's been on the bike for a little bit longer, and he's only on day 3, and he's starting to try and go like not the biggest hills that your boy's doing, but he's like, and then he starts running down those hills, and he's like, hallelujah, like this is everything, and he doesn't need a camera there. He doesn't need to be given a medal. He doesn't need it to pay well. He's just in that balance bike, and then at some point that's going to be a bit boring. It's going to need to be a bigger hill. It's going to need pedals, or you know, he's going to move on to a scooter or a skateboard, or and that's cool as well. Like it's not always going to be about this as much as even our 8-year-old, 9-year-olds are also loving the balance bike, the same little one that the 2-year-olds bike. They're bombing on that. But like that, to me, that's truth, because he hasn't been indoctrinated. You could say, but by 2, he's starting to follow me or follow you, and there's some truth to that. But I'm more trying to follow him than him follow me. Like it's innate within the child to continue to do the different things, and they're fully lit up. Like they even just, we were doing Spanish right by the river yesterday. You're like, let's do some Spanish. So I just took that and ran with it of full Spanish immersion. And he's just giggling, he's laughing because it's like, oh, there's something different going on here.
Yeah.
It brings joy to him. That's
Yeah.
something different. He doesn't know what's going on.
Even my wife was getting enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, like there's a buzz. I was buzzing. Like I
Yeah,
was
it
like,
was
oh, I'm
great.
letting all this Spanish fly. No one understands what I'm talking about. And I feel like I'm funny and you don't even know what jokes I'm making.
And I'm just like copying you in a
Yeah.
free flowing way, and there was no oh, I got a B or a C in the
No,
class,
yeah.
you
I mean,
know?
you got a B plus. But
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah.
Session 1, yeah. I didn't have to get the cane
Yeah.
out or anything. You didn't have to stand against the blackboard with your nose against the blackboard.
Yeah, there's this. I think in like modern society, there's this box where we're living in, where things must be a struggle, and you must be. These are the words that I dislike, that I was told throughout my life, was like, you got to get stability. What about stability? And then to say you're gonna be, one day you got to grow up to be a young professional. And my whole life, I was like, I just want to have like a good time though. Like we just get this, just get this one life.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to do things I don't want to do. And what happens if I take the risk to like follow my instincts that lead me out of the box? And we were talking the other day how like most steps I took in life, everyone was saying that won't work, that will be wrong.
Yeah.
We always joke about doing things out of the box, and one of us will say, wrong. It's like a classic, and it will be great that they're doing it. But it was like every step it was wrong, and for some reason it was just like me being like, no, I just want to, I feel this, I just want to go. And I think it's like instinct has been like pushed aside.
Yeah.
Instead of like planning, and it has to be rational, and it has to like, you have to know, where are you gonna be in 5 years? What's your 5-year plan, and stuff like that. And there's, and I just don't think we're fortune tellers. At least I'm not. So I don't know what's gonna be in 5 years. I don't know what's gonna be in a year. All I can do is like follow what I believe in that moment and give it my all. And you can't give it your all if you don't love it, or you're not driven intensely by it. There has to be this intense drive towards something, and that drive could be progress, it could be expansion, it could be all these words we were talking about, but it cannot be in the box. Someone else told me to do this when I'm young, and now I'm just going to go that way. And that's just, you get one opportunity in this life, and if you don't do it, it's just full of regret and wasted time. And the way I feel like when I wake up is like I don't have many plans that day. I might have a one or two things, but I also have like unlimited, where if someone says you want to go run, I'll just go run. If someone says you want to go play tennis, and then if someone says let's get to 5-ball juggling today, I say let's go. And it's not like you have to commit 7 hours to it. I mean, you can, like, it's nice to just zone out and forget that you even need to eat sometimes, and just because you're so entwined with something. But also you can commit 2 minutes here and 5 minutes there and 10 minutes there, and by the end of the day you've accumulated this like solid amount of time that you've and skill that you've come in and out of, and you've progressed drastically. And when trying new things, there's this thing of like, as soon as I introduce you to something, it's the first thing people say. It's like, I can't do that. It's like the first thing out of their mouth, And my sort of like rough rule is like, okay, yeah, you can't do it now. We'll try it 100 times now. I bet you can do more than you're doing now. Like the first time and the second time is 100% increase in ability, just doing a basic thing. And then by the time you try it 20 times, you've like got a little handle on it. And by the time you try 100 times, you go, even if you can't do the thing, you're like, oh, but I can see that the thing is possible. And it's not, you just have a complete shift of perspective.
I gave you 20 reps yesterday on the 5-ball.
Yeah.
We'd just been warming it up. We did where you were throwing me the 5, and then I would throw you the 5.
Yeah.
And you got that rhythm, you got the timing of like throwing them across, and you got the timing of catching them. And then I said you got 20 repetitions to throw all 5 up and then catch all 5.
Yeah.
And that's usually a fairly unreasonable task for the first day that you really have a go at 5-ball.
I'm a fan of unreasonable
I
things.
think on the 19th or 20th rep, you had 4
Got
balls
one.
in your hand, and the 5th ball hit your finger and rolled out.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there you go. So you didn't,
Yeah.
you failed the task.
Classic fail, dude.
But look at how far you went in 20 repetitions. The first ones were disgusting. You were getting like,
yeah.
I think you might have had some zeros,
Yeah.
you might have had some ones,
Yeah.
like,
And I couldn't even see the path.
yeah.
The first one, I couldn't see the path, and rep 20, when it hit my finger, my first words afterward were like, yeah, but I see it can be done.
Yeah.
Like, it feels possible
Yeah,
now,
you start to see like,
you know? And then the patterns, and then I went back to full ball, and it felt better than it ever has. Just because of the speed, you know?
exactly. Even if your 5-ball was a complete shambles,
Yeah.
schmozzle, if you went back to your 3-ball and your 3-ball's better, and you went back to your 4-ball and your 4-ball's better,
Yeah.
did the 5-ball serve you?
Yeah.
Like, of course it did.
Yeah.
So, and how many guys I've spoken to who are like, I just need to lock in this 3-ball and then I'm going to start that
Yeah.
4-ball. I need to fully lock down this 4-ball and then I'm going to start the 5-ball. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the best method. You're only doing that through fear. And all professional athletes are getting locked into their shit by coaches
Yeah.
and paradigms that are like, play your role,
Yeah.
stick to your thing. All of the best athletes whose names we know played a bigger game. They made a bigger sport out of what they did. Even
Yeah.
Jonathan Edwards, in the boring stuff of track and field that nobody
yeah.
likes, he made a game of his top speed, his bounding, his full clean, his full snatch, his power clean, his power snatch,
Switching legs.
circuit
Yeah.
stuff that he was doing, as well as triple jump off less steps, like a shorter run up and all that, which everyone does. But he had all of these games that he was playing. Stefan Holm was the same. Stefan Holm was a freak high jumper, and he had all of these different games. Stefan Holm went back through the history of high jumping and took on the records of all the different styles of high jump that had
Really?
been done in the past.
Wow.
Yeah, and he made his game with the high
Yeah.
hurdles, and he made his game with like volume. You do like 500 jumps between one box to the other box. And
Wow.
he just do like crazy volume. He's like, yeah, my ancestors worked really hard. I'm just going to work really hard at this
Yeah.
and see what happens. And he competed more often than everybody else.
Yeah.
And even though they were both told by the system, no, you can't even,
Yeah.
not that you can't be the best in the world and set records, but that you can't even be any good. Like, you're
Yeah.
not worthy of funding. Jonathan Edwards had to have a weightlifting, a hammer throwing coach, like a field coach, because he wasn't good enough for a track
Yeah.
coach. Like, he couldn't get any support from the government because he was biologically impossible for him to even compete at the highest level. And his record still stands.
Yeah.
And Stefan Holm was competing all the time at the highest level. He competed more often than anybody else. He competed for longer, and he was short.
Yeah.
And the guy who, I think one of the guys who's got a higher jump, I think he's one of the highest jumps in history. He got done for steroids, like the Cuban guy. So he's like arguably the best high jumper in history by various metrics. Like, compared to his height, I think he's the highest jumper as well, like as a percentage and all that sort of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
you have to make it. The point is, you have to make a bigger game out of it, and that's
Yeah.
why the everything athlete concept. Even if you want to be like the most boring guy who just does one thing, like seemingly boring. Same with Shohei Ohtani. If you look at Ohtani's history of what he did in baseball, he changed from left-handed to right-handed, so he's closer to the other base, but it also meant he's rotating both ways
Yeah.
because he bats one way and pitches
Yeah.
the other way. The Japanese make a bigger game out of baseball. Like, you have to make a bigger game out of it, whether
Yeah.
you want to be like a specific athlete in something, or if you want to be ready for whatever the challenge is going to be for the day, which is kind of how we're thinking about
In
it.
your opinion, what does fear play in that role?
Yeah, it's all the psychological barriers that get put in by someone telling you that you've done it wrong.
Yeah.
Someone telling you like, yeah, you're a role player, you don't score goals, or you don't shoot, or whatever position you play, whatever role you play in a sport, like
Yeah.
you start to get pushed into like, we want you to play like this.
Yeah.
But the best players are always like, yeah, go and stick that wherever you want to put it.
Like, why is that guy doing something different? He's way better than
I'm
me.
gonna keep expanding. Like,
Yeah,
the best quarterbacks now, there's a tendency for the best quarterbacks to be able to throw both arms. There's a tendency towards them being able to run better. And yeah, that wasn't Tom Brady, but the game is still going in that direction.
Yeah.
The game is
Yeah.
always going in the direction of expansion and fuller expression. The props in rugby now
Yeah.
are more athletic. They can pass more. Every game goes in that direction, but I don't hear people zooming out and talking about we need to keep,
Yeah.
we need to keep expanding. Of course, there's pockets of it here and there, and I love people to send me examples of stuff. I loved hearing that Steve Kerr had joy as one of their 3 key words.
Oh,
Like
nice.
a lot of teams have 3 words to
Yeah.
run their culture by, and
Yeah.
joy was one of them. Like, boom, that's
cool.
And you see it in like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like
Just
like
from
he's
the-
having fun.
Yeah.
But he played a bigger game. That's another great example of playing a bigger game. Everyone thinks it's just goofing around, shooting from the
Yeah.
car park and shooting from up in the stand, and he kicks the ball and he plays volleyball with the ball. He's playing a bigger game.
You've expanded
Is he any good?
Expanded it.
Yeah, like
Not
where,
just
where
ex-
the one who's so scared.
Yeah. Not just expanding the court size, but expanding the movement ability outside
Yep.
how you would move in your sport, you know?
Exactly.
You know how like I'd never shut up about fear and, and all this stuff, and I just think fear is like this great cross that we bear. It's also like the great unlock. It's if we're looking for an unlock, just look at what you're scared of and then like go do that. And that's not like new information at all, you know. I've had many fears in life, and I think that as soon as I recognize a fear, it's like a piece of the puzzle. And it's just like, yeah, you might get shocked when you pick up that puzzle, but if you can just hold on to it long enough to actually put it in the puzzle, and just goes away, and you just become this whole different person.
Yeah.
So, you know, fears, like if I ask someone, which I do often, is like, what are you scared of? And there's things like heights and spiders and all the big sort of standard stuff. But then what I'm looking for is, and this comes after a series of questions, what I'm looking for is like micro fears.
Yeah.
I believe in this concept of micro fears. And we accumulate micro fears that we don't even realize, and they're very, very subconscious. Until we sort of have a self-assessment of it, but a micro fear might start at an injury, and 20 years later you don't have the injury, but you still have the micro fear, and it's still affecting how you move and think through the world, and it's just so those micro fears can show themselves in many different things. You can show themselves in movement patterns and positions, in actions, the way you hold yourself, the way you talk, your posture, and we don't think about it often, but like all of this is affecting how we move through the world, how people see us. Do they believe us? Do they take our words in and do our words have weight? You know, a lot of that's to do with like how we present ourselves and how we move through the world, and like how are you supposed to know who someone is walking by? The only thing you can do is judge them based on like how they hold themselves and how they are walking, and like beyond this visual representation, you don't really have a clue of who they are, you know? So if they have a lot of fear and they don't have and this is the fearful posture of like this fetal position, if they have this, like you can automatically tell like, yeah, they've struggled through something, maybe still struggle something, but they haven't got through the fear, because because a fetal position is like this inherently fearful position. But then when you come out of it, it's like not a coincidence. People actually start believing what you're saying and taking your words with weight, and you start moving through the world, and opportunity comes. Like it's not a coincidence. So when I work with people on positions, whether it's for sport or coming through an injury or whatever, I look at I can put them in a position, and what I'm trying to find is what position or what tension are they actually fearful of having. So let's say, for instance, like when we first started hanging out, there was this big sort of, not collapse, but there was a little bit of wariness to go to the outside of the foot, you know? And we talked to that. So that to me is like, some people will be like, oh, he doesn't have access to the outside foot. I don't believe that's right. I think that the body has in it whatever we want from the body, it has it in it. We just have to figure out how to unlock it and bring it out. And part of that is development, and the other part of it is like assessing what our micro fears are, and then getting through that, and then that's like a puzzle piece that allows the body to start expressing how it is. So yeah, when I'm looking at something, what I want to look at when I'm doing a gait analysis is what positions, what small sort of details of positions are these people that are running. What are they fearful of getting? Are they fearful of shifting weight at this point onto their knee, or pushing off, or there's all these things, and these are based on microfears. What some people might do with that information is if they think it's an anatomical thing, they would say, oh, we need more strength here, we need more mobility here. But often it's not that. Often I can just tell someone, hey, do you know that you collapse forward in your right shoulder? And they go, oh, I didn't know that. And then I'm like, give them a cue to pull their shoulder back. And then like the chain's just linked. So it's not like, it's not often this sort of physical therapy progression. Like a lot of the time people just are not aware and haven't assessed of like, what are the micro fears that I'm carrying through the world, and how are they shown through my body? And just like the last statement on that is like, to be a physical representation of what we believe inside is a statement that I try and like really live by. And if you like feel you're strong inside and you have these strong convictions and you like feel success and you want all this, well then like show the world that. Otherwise they don't know unless you talk to them, and you don't talk to most people, you know? So I want people to know and see that in me and my family and my friends and someone I've worked with. I want them to see that this person feels good and like emanating light and all this stuff by their posture and the fact that they are nice and open and fluid in movement. And I think people underestimate how much that affects your life. It's not just about athletically. Opportunity shows up when you emanate that, you know, and that's just an assessment of fear and getting through it and allowing your body to like exhale a little bit. And like you said, coming back to how we felt when we were 15, 16, 17. Most people feel like they'll never get back there. But I feel like I'm super close to getting back there. So
I'm already better than I was at that age. I already had so much stuff busted. I had chronic upper back pain. I had chronic shin splints and foot pain.
Yeah.
Like I've never been like I am now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's awesome.
I appreciate
and
the support. With,
yeah.
You know, like there's always going to be more to unlock, and
Yeah.
we're playing with it every day.
Yeah.
Like for me, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing my boy,
This is as good as
seeing
it
our
gets.
children
Yeah.
getting after it with us,
Yeah.
just in nature. And
Yeah.
there's an invitation here to shift your goalposts of what success is
Yeah.
in life, what success is athletically. There's an invitation here towards the Everything Athlete idea. We've relaunched the Real Movement Project as a coach education platform. It's where ATG and Range of Strength and hundreds of gyms, over 100 gyms, came from the relationship that I built with men like yourself to get better systems out into the world, better ideas. I think this building everything athletes, we've been playing around with that as like a slogan for Real Movement, and that's for coaches who want to embrace this idea of the bigger game and all of the tools and knowledge that can bring us towards that. Not me being the center of it, not Mitchell being the source of all knowledge as a guru, but a team of coaches with different experiences and different specializations.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're committed to building here together. Whether anybody else likes it or not, we're going to build it.
It's great anyway.
We're going to keep living it.
Yeah.
But the invitation is there. I think that there's thousands of performance centers all around the United States and across the world where you can learn to sprint and lift big weights. But there are 0 locations that are committed to this Everything Athlete system and model, and that have a paradigm around skill development, as well as the force side of things, as well as the rehabilitation side, as well as the mental side of things that you're sharing. And if you'd like to work with Mitchell one-to-one to get your body back together, there's an opportunity to do that. You can check out the Dense Club app, denseclub.com. You can create a free account there, and that is our first step to connecting with each other. You don't have to, but there's an opportunity there. There's people that are coming out here to Colorado to spend time with Mitchell. I'm going to be here for a little bit longer as well. This is what we want. We want to be running these camps. We want to be sharing this knowledge. And I'm really passionate about empowering others to lead and play a leadership role, and giving permission, giving an invitation, like, hey, I want you to lead us in this. If you're the best within our small coaching community at something, that makes you someone really valuable, and that can sometimes shift your self-image. And the way that it happened for Lucas Hardy with Range of Strength, or the Motion guy, or Ben Patrick, and that's what I'm really passionate about. And I know Mitchell is already changing a bunch of lives within our current coaching network. And I'm talking with Ben Patrick about how we can do this bigger and better, but I want you to lead. I want you to lead your local area. I want you to encourage local coaches to learn from you. I want you to become a better athlete. I want you to travel the world and have the experience that we're having. Ideally, inviting your family and future generations into it, if this is the kind of thing you're after. There's links here, and if it's not, that's okay too. I hope you got something out of the video, and I want to do more of these
Yep.
with you, Mitchell, and with other coaches
Yep.
from the network. When the guys, there's quite a few coming out with us in July. So yeah, we're going to be having more of these
Yeah.
conversations, and if you something specifically you would like to ask Mitchell or myself, you can also comment in there, and we'll do some single question, shorter videos to share more of the solutions that are working
Yeah.
for us and have worked for the athletes that we've worked with over the years, coaches.
One last question. Do you guys remember what it used to feel like when you were a kid and you ran on the ground? You didn't even feel the ground. There was no impact. There was no which muscles are we using. There was none of this. I want to remind you guys of like what that feels like. It feels very, very powerful. So that's the question. Do you remember? And there's a way to get there, I promise. And we would like to show you that, because it's not downhill, it's uphill. It's only getting better.
See Eden running barefoot across the stones.
There's nothing there.
2-year-old running across the stones. Like, there's no thought of like, is this
No.
sharp or anything? That's goals. Like, I
Yeah.
constantly like learning. Like, okay,
Yeah.
well, he doesn't care about walking
Yeah.
across this surface that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
He can run on something that
Yeah.
I'm tiptoeing across. So we've got to unlock these
And
levels.
it's not just the kids. I
Yeah.
go and I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm running across. I'm not worried about the stones. I'm not worried about all this stuff. I'm not worried about the impact.
No,
It's
but
not because I've never been injured. It's not because of but it's because I've got through it and I've seen the other side, and I
Yeah.
know how to show people the light.
Yeah.
We can show you the light, and there's some powerful things happening here, physically and mentally. And
If it was true for us at 2 and 5 and 10,
yep,
then it still should be true for us. I've experienced it with the men in Vanuatu as well. They can all sprint through the jungle barefoot, chasing after pigs and
Yeah.
cows, and like, you've been a world champion or national champion. You've been at that. So some people might think, well, it's just you're a genetics and you've.
Yeah.
But if children can do it, if guys who've grown up in the jungle
Yeah.
can do it. If you can do it, then there's an invitation for, okay,
Yeah.
I can get better, and I'm experiencing that, and I'm up for that challenge. And yeah, appreciate you putting it out there. That's
the
an
human
opportunity.
body, the human body is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's limitless. So, we'd love to show you guys some of that potential. Reclaim some.
jacked and tan.
Jacked and tan and dirty feet, and we got to do the dirty foot check, and it sounded a good life.